My name's Liza and I'm part of the learning team at Southampton Cultural Services. Part of our collection is a fabulous collection full of artworks and sculptures. It's just over 4,500 artworks in our collection, loads and loads, and some of those, as I said, are sculptures, and we're going to be making a sculpture today. Now don't worry if I'm going a bit quick for you. If you go to our website, which is www.southamptoncityartgallery.com, you'll find some instructions that you can follow step by step, so you don't have to worry about keeping up with me as I go along. Now we're going to be making a figurative sculpture today, so that's a sculpture of a figure, a person's body, and we're simply going to be using a tin can and some foil. So all you need is two things for this art activity. Right, so first things first, when you've emptied your tin can, don't want a full can, don't want to waste the food, you'll need to get an adult to wash it out and also make sure that the sharp bit inside is covered up with tape. Then, when you've done that, you can peel off the label. That takes a bit of time. So luckily, we have one that I've peeled earlier. And now it's all really nice and shiny. Now I'm not going to use that to make my figure. I'm going to use that as a plinth. I've got this board here, so when I hold things up, you can see a bit better, because I know it's probably a bit tricky to see. This is going to be the plinth, which means the base that my sculpture sits on. If you go to the gallery, you'll see we've got lots and lots of different artworks. Some of them sit directly on the floor of the gallery, where the other ones are raised up. We've got a really fabulous one called Barry Flanagan's Leaping Hair, and it's a beautiful gold hair, and it's on a plinth made of blue bits of, I think it's wood it's made of, blue sort of, how to describe them, long, kind of a bit like long blue sticks really, I suppose, and they're piled up into a beautiful geometric pyramid type shape. Go online and have a look for it, Barry Flanagan's Leaping Hair, and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, for my sculpture today, I'm just going to be using this and tinfoil. I'll show you a couple I've made already. Don't know if you can you see this one here? This is a person with their arms up. Yeah, they might be celebrating, they might be cheering, who knows, but there they are anyway. They've got their knees bent and they've got their arms straight up in the air. You can see these are really simple figures, a little bit like stickmen, I suppose, and they're really easy to bend because they're made from tinfoil. I bent him that way. Maybe put him so he's got his legs hanging over the end of the plinth. Here's another one I've done. This one, maybe, how do you think that they're feeling? I think they might be feeling a little bit sad. They've got their head in their hands and they've got their arms resting on their knees. Think about that when you're making your sculpture. What are you trying to show? How does the person you're portraying feel? Because you can use the way that you position their body to show how they're feeling. Anyway, I'll show you how to make one first. I'll just put those bits to one side. All you need is some tin foil, as I've said. I use leftover tin foil. We tend to keep ours. Obviously clean off any bits of sandwich or anything like that on it. So you need a bit of tin foil. Roll my sleeves up a bit. About that size, give or take. Doesn't have to be exact. So a nice big sort of rectangle of tin foil. And then all I'm going to do is squeeze in the middle bits. Squeeze in the middle bit. A bit like a giant bow tie. And then what I'm going to do is this top bit, don't go quick, don't rush on this, go nice and slow. I'm going to rip 1, 2. And that is going to give me the foil to make my arms and my head. And then you probably guessed this bottom bit I'm just going to rip in half, and this is going to give me the bit for my legs. So then all you need to do, you have to go gentle. If you squeeze too hard, what do you think would happen? I think the foil will probably rip too quickly and you might lose an arm or chop off a head. Nobody wants that. I'm going to squeeze the other side to make my other arm. I'm doing mine super duper quick, so you can spend a bit more time on yours. Definitely don't squeeze too hard on this part. Don't want to rip the head off, do I? And I'm going to make that bit into a head shape. Just doing it quite roughly now, can you see? Starting to form the arms and the head. And then I'm going to do the legs. spend some time moulding and shaping. If your head's that way, a good way to just make it look a little bit 3D is just to turn it to the side. Think about the shoulders. Why don't you have a look online or at a book and take a look at a skeleton, and that might give you an idea. There's some great pictures online of skeletons, and then you can see how the muscles build up over the bones to give you an idea of where to make your arms a bit thicker or a bit thinner. Do the same with the legs. I said I'm doing mine very, very quickly. If you've got too much foil and you think, oh, my leg's a little bit too long, you could just pull a bit off, couldn't you? Put some feet in there. So when you've got the basic of your figure, you can see I've put the black behind so you can see, then you can think about the pose, or you might want to make some accessories for it. So I made for mine, done these already, I made a little heart out of tin foil that I could use, maybe if I've had two figures and I was trying to show that they loved each other. I made a sword, so maybe you could think about a story or a book or a film that you like and try creating little accessories or props for your figure that you can use to show what they're doing. And I also made a goblet here out of tin foil. Just have a play with the foil. I wanted to make the goblet, I could rip a bit of the foil off, and I found the easiest way to do this was to fold it over. So I've got a sort of slightly stronger bit. Maybe your parents might remember doing this. I remember doing this with like chocolate wrappers, Quality Street wrappers when I was little. And you can wrap the foil around the end of your finger and then you can twist it. I think I've actually got too much foil here. Oh, I have. I've got way too much foil. I've ended up making something a bit more like the Olympic torch there, haven't I? But you can twist it. Mine was too thick to make the stem, and then you fan out the bottom to make the little standy uppy bit of the cup. I don't know if you can see there, you should be able to stand it up. You could also maybe have a go at making something else, maybe like I don't know, an animal to go with your figure. Just have a go with this bit of foil. You could squeeze it in the same way to make the body. Have a couple of legs. Maybe if you're doing something like a cat or a dog, you could leave a tail as well. Same method, and squeezing to make the two legs. Going to create a tail there. Get some front legs as well. When you're squeezing, just use that to get the sort of the shape that you want the foil to be, and then you can go back when you're happy with the shape and work into it a little bit more. So maybe if I was doing a cat or a dog, I might leave some for the ears as well, so I can get some little ears there. Don't know if you can see very well. I've started to sort of create the head and work on the body. My legs are a bit long at the moment, aren't they? So do you remember what I said? If the legs are too long, you can fold up bottoms. There we go, starting to get some front legs there. Oh, it's falling down. And back. And the good thing about foil is if it goes wrong, you can always undo it. Or if you've been collecting your leftover foil, have another go. Says that's not the best cat in the world, but you can get the idea. It's quite a quick version there. You see? Now, something else you can do if you want to not make the accessories for your figure. I had a look around the house and I actually had these tiny little books, but have a look around and see what you can find at home. You might be able to use something that you've got to add to your sculpture. So I could have mine maybe sitting down. Let's have them sitting down cross-legged and enjoying a book. The good thing about the foil is you can bend it so easily that you can get it to hold the book like that. Oops, dropped out. That's a bad demonstration. This is not going very well, is it? Let's see if I can put it like that. There we go. Oh, there you go. Get the gist. And I've got a few more books here, so maybe with my sculpture I'd want to put them around the bottom like that, so it looks like someone's sitting and enjoying a book. You get the idea anyway. So you can use your tin can as the plinth, or you could do a sculpture that you have sitting directly on the floor. Have a look online at some different artists. I said we've got someone called Barry Flanagan at the gallery, but there's some other really, really great artists out there. Have a look at Rodin. He did one of quite a famous one called Rodin's Thinker, a thinking seated man. There's also more contemporary artists and artists who do more abstract versions of figures. So have a look at Barbara Hepworth. She does some excellent figures that are a bit more abstract, so you have to look into them to get a feel of a figure more than mine, which are a bit more literal here. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. Have a go, and we'd love to see some of the things that you make. So if you'd want to share them with us, please do. You can see us on our Facebook site, and also have a look at our YouTube channel, because on there it's called, if you go onto YouTube and you look up Southampton Museums and Galleries Learning, and on there you'll find some of the artists that I've been talking about, some videos of works by Rodin and Barry Flanagan, and you can learn a little bit more about them to maybe give you some ideas. Okay, bye for now.